See if we're live. We're going to double check for it.
I know we'll get the
And,
notification.
and we are live. Awesome. Welcome to Out of the Draft Podcast. I did say last week we were not going to do two episodes these next 2 weeks, but we decided to change it up and do it anyways because there's a lot of news to talk about, and we just really enjoy doing this ourselves. So please enjoy this episode and welcome our panel. I'm Dylan.
Nick.
Mitchell.
Perfect.
Alex Bowman.
Alex
Wannabe.
Bowman the Showman's here. Well, I guess we just get right on into this week. Other than that, how are y'all guys? How y'all doing?
Good.
We're good. Working on the new job and such. Still doing orientation, but
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, well, we can start with the Xfinity because that was kind of a letdown. But
It was better than I expected it to be.
You know what? I was pleased with it because I finally got a NASCAR top 3 series pick correct. So I'm pleased. I win.
I'll be honest, I don't even know who I picked.
I went with Bell.
Barry.
Oh, I did.
Yep.
And Barry did terrible.
Yep.
Did.
Bell stayed undefeated, as I expected.
Yep.
I think Barry did terrible.
Bell legit just dominated. That's all I have written down. That there was nothing
Yeah,
controversial.
he dominated.
There's nothing. Yeah, you can't. There's nothing you can take away. Bell just. Hi, I'm here. This is gonna be mine.
Yeah.
Y'all just showed up for second.
The only other real notable thing was
That restart.
Joe Gibbs as a whole was strong. I guess that's about it. But
That restart.
I didn't watch the race, so I don't know what you're talking about.
yeah, which
So the
restart?
leaders didn't even get to the. They were in the restart zone.
Oh, you talking about
The
the stack
leaders-
up? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they just stacked up. Ended with Riley Herbst's day, I think.
What a shock! I saw
Took
that.
out 19, Brandon Jones. Other than that, it was a uneventful day.
Yeah.
Supposedly, somebody was saying that Noah Gregson spun. I couldn't find a highlight of it.
I didn't hear. I didn't see it or hear it at
I
all.
didn't hear
either,
nothing
so-
about that.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about it, but either way, very uneventful race. It was really just watching Christopher Bell come from the back to take the lead and dominate.
Yep. Which is what I fully expected. Being there, he's like we said, he's 2 for 2 now, 3 for 3.
Yep.
I fully expected him to be fast. Obviously, I chose him as my pick. We never know if someone's actually going to win or not. Who knows what can happen? But I fully expected him to be up front, and he did exactly what we all expected, really, of him, and almost doubled up. So good for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Since we almost said doubled it up, we might as well just go ahead and talk about the Cup race if you are down.
Yeah.
Congrats to Christopher Bell though. That's an awesome win. I mean, that just shows that he has driving talent. Just wait till he matures into the Cup car, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right. It's still sophomore season, and he's got a lot of time.
Yeah.
So.
He's doing better than his Rookie of the Year winner.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing better than all the other sophomores, period. So.
Well, he's doing better than all of them. And when you look at Rookie of the Year from last year, what's he doing?
Nothing.
Tyler Reddick's outperforming him in underpowered equipment, you could say, or under.
I would say with where Stuart Haas is right now, I'd say honestly,
it's pretty equal.
It's
pretty
equal,
equal.
if not RCR being a little ahead. Honestly,
But still, like Tyler Reddick is outperforming him, at least early on.
I agree. We know those Stuart Haas's. They're not all there right now. They got some work, but I agree.
Yeah, who would have thought that Harvick wouldn't get the first win?
Yeah.
For real though, who would have thought it would have been the 10?
The one who was doing the worst of them all.
Literally. And I saw earlier that put Custer actually back to 25th in points now because of that.
Yep.
Shoved him back. Obviously shoved everyone back, but what a week, man. So yeah, we started with a lap 6 crash due to rain.
Yep.
Took out the leader, Kyle Busch, ended his day. Truex got damaged, Hamlin got damaged, a few others, Chastain,
Bowman.
Bowman, yeah. all of them.
I think of the top 5, the only one who managed to save it was Chase Elliott, and I think that's only because he saw
what was kind of happening. Yeah,
and also like he was running the bottom, they were running the outside. And
they were kind of entering a little wider. Yeah.
So I think the moisture was still up in the top groove, so that's why it was easier for him to catch it versus
I agree.
Yeah.
He had more time to catch it. Yeah.
Right. That ended Bush's day right off the bat, lap 6. That's a tough pill to swallow, especially not something you can control. That sucks.
And not to mention his comment, "I'm not driving this piece of shit. Just pack it up. Let's go home."
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong. They checked to see what was broke. I don't personally know. I don't know if you guys do, but
they said it was something they couldn't fix though. Right there.
So if they were to run, he was going to be.
I think they probably broke the cliff or something.
Probably, maybe even the track bar, so he'd be all over the place or something like that. So, he understands what kind of piece of shit it's going to be to drive. So,
Truex got lucky the way he spun because he kind of hit it flat, where Kyle Busch was
His toe was still way out on the.
It was, but he was able to continue the race at least.
Yeah. Which was surprising to me, honestly. I really didn't think the camber was able to keep the tire there.
And then especially with knocking off that left front splitter right there.
Yeah.
I thought that really hurt him, especially being there. He really needed it there. But
But other than that,
during that sequence after he wrecked, he completely destroyed the back end of the pace car. Not really. It wasn't damaged or anything like that.
No.
Just like a little bit of
it bent a little, but it popped back out.
Yeah. But that he was just showing his displeasure to NASCAR of why starting the race while it was drizzling / raining.
So NASCAR was saying by the time the information got to them, it was too late.
It was too late, right? Which I understand that.
But I feel like all the drivers were saying under the pace limit, let's not start. Let's not start. And then they were like, okay.
But at the same, but they were saying it was moisture. It wasn't so much raining at that time.
Right, and to NASCAR's credit as well, I know they have multiple people around the track that should have been also to see this. But from the booth standpoint, I remember Jeff Burton saying he legitimately didn't even know it was raining until the wreck happened.
Yeah.
So I understand from that point of view, you might not have known, but. With that being said, NASCAR has multiple, I couldn't tell you, 5, 6, 10 officials around the track to tell you that it's raining.
Well, there's one in each turn. We know that. And then I think they have
then you got the 2 on the flag stands as well.
Yep.
So, it shouldn't have happened. Caution should have came out, let alone they should have gone green in the first place.
They've raced in the rain before, too, though. Not at ovals. It's if it's enough to get the track wet, which I think starting with a somewhat damp track, the way it seemed, that's why it just got the way it was.
Right, and then it came harder out of nowhere right there when the wreck did happen.
Yeah, because they showed the radar, it showed almost nothing in the area. It was like
it was a pop up. Simple as that. It was a pop up.
And and NASCAR has TV times they have to abide by. They have a contract. They got to get that race in.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which that'll come in later.
But going back to that, sucks for Busch. That's just a sucky situation.
Yeah, but it's not been really good to him anyway, so.
It really hasn't. There's 2 years in a row that basically the same thing happened. Yeah,
leading and something happens, yeah.
So, it is what it is. You move on, right? As Kyle Busch would say, everything's great.
Okay, so this is definitely going to hurt him, though, at Watkins Glen.
It's just going to be a further starting position. That's really
much further.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He's won there. He's quick there.
The
road course program for him this year has been probably the best I've seen in the last 5-6 years for him.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of the 2012,
him,
Brad, and Ambrose.
I agree. He definitely seems like he's got a little more pep under his step regarding the road courses this season.
And then going back to the race, we actually had it get started. We actually had them go back under green. Finished most of the race. Probably 95% of the race was finished, which we'll get into.
I think technically it'd be more than that. Technically.
Yeah, it would be technically more than that. I know.
Average.
What I did love to see is we didn't have any PJ1 on the track. It created
loved it.
better racing because
I agree.
Because people actually had to use the brake. Yeah, the PJ1 makes you use the brake, but like you're able to drive it in, and then you know you're gonna get caught with the third lane having it on there anyways.
Yeah, and then you just drive away from the person.
Right, and it doesn't.
Where it forced you to set up a pass, you had to get inside of them and try to beat them off the turn. Yeah. It was racing, which we were wondering, like, is this going to be a track that it needs that PJ1?
I don't think it does.
Well, so from years past, with the package the way it was, it started getting exciting with PJ1 again. Now it's apparently we don't need PJ1, so I think NASCAR needs to do more tests on that stuff.
I agree. It always seems kind of hit or miss, and I think the conditions of the air, clouds, sun, so on. I think that has a lot to do with it. And I know you can't really plan around that. Like, oh, well, it's sunny, so let's put it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it takes time to.
Right. You can't play in that, so it's just kind of hit or miss, and I think that's why. But quick question: 2018, did that race, specifically the one where Kevin bumped Kyle Busch out of the way, did that have PJ1? I didn't think so. Because I was gonna say the racing that I saw this past weekend reminded me a lot, specifically of 2018. It seemed like you said you had to really set up passes and put yourself in position to make a pass, not just worry about what's the fastest line to run because there's some black stuff on the track. I enjoyed it. I thought that was some of the best racing, short track wise, we've seen in a while. I enjoyed not seeing the PJ1 down.
I can't wait though. I don't think it's needed. Back to Bristol without dirt on it.
Same.
Agreed.
Well, and another thing we had throughout the race, we had short run cars, we had long run cars, and it really created a lot of parity throughout the whole field. Because I mean, you had the 9 that was really fast in the first 15 laps of a run, he would just fly through the field, and then the second half of the run, he would just drop like a rock. Like it was, which he sucks here. So
I think some of the best racing I saw was actually when our race winner was battling him. Chase Elliott worked on him lap after lap after lap.
And then
got into him a little bit. Yeah. On that one time.
Restart. It was a restart that he went 3 wide, and I think he thought he was about to cut off Larson's nose, and he kind of gassed it up. You could just tell how the car jerked.
It just went up.
And it just went straight into him. And then, Amarillo was like, listen, I only chance to win, so you better get out of my way. He was just...
He actually said they're not used to getting passed.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know who it was, but it was either the crew chief or the spotter that said that. Not
Well, they agreed with it. So
he absolutely agreed, and honestly, I agree too. They're not used to being passed, especially by the 10 car.
No, he usually passes a lap down.
I think
exactly.
I think maybe Quinn Half is used to being passed by the 10 car.
Right.
That's about it.
So I do understand they're not used to it, and I feel like realistically, as this season has been, if you're being passed by the 10 car, something's not right. Regardless of what team you're on, absolutely not. Yeah. Something's not right.
Well, I guess the whole field was not right this weekend.
Exactly, something was up.
Something was wrong with Harvick too.
Apparently, but I mean, he was up there at least. So
I do want to go back into the later part of the race, the beginning of stage 3. The 12 and the 2's battle was just.
They were going at it. It was incredible racing.
Was amazing. All you have to do is just make a car that can have at least somewhat of horsepower. It doesn't need a lot. I mean, this is only 750. Right. I personally think you only need 700 to make a great race. But just a little bit of horsepower.
Max them out. Give them 1,000.
No.
We don't need Ferraris out there now.
Lower the downforce. You had people going off throttle, loose coming off, tight going in. It just felt
Brad was.
It was good stuff, and they were going at it.
He was not just like, "Oh, I'm going to try to move you." Like he was hitting him.
Yeah, I mean, and because he knew that he was not being in the 2 car next year. Like he was like, "What does it matter?"
Right, and not only that, but they also had rain in the area / darkness coming.
Yeah,
not to mention, NASCAR stage 3, we're going to say 10 to go at some point.
Right. So that's what really increased the intensity.
Matt DiBenedetto,
created that type of racing.
Because what was it? He was out there like maybe 5
Man.
laps before. They
I'm
said
sick
10
of
to
hearing
go.
about Matt DiBenedetto. I really am.
I know.
I saw the clip. I don't know who posted it, but it was on Instagram of Matt DiBenedetto, and it was literally only the first like 45 laps of the race, and Matt DiBenedetto's name was said like 65 times.
Oh, dude, yes.
That's not needed. Yeah, I get it. He's a feel good story. You want to see him do good. It's understandable.
Yeah.
I think
But
that's why
we
they're
don't
trying
need
to
to
sell
talk
it.
to him every 2 minutes. Like it's just
Yeah.
not. It's not about Matt DiBenedetto because he's not running in the lead. So who cares? He's not doing anything so spectacular. When he goes up front, maybe at Watkins Glen, if he's running for the lead, absolutely talk about Matt DiBenedetto. But if he's running 13th, passing the 10 car for 12th, who cares?
I mean, I feel like we've seen that a lot this year, actually.
We've seen it all year with Matt DiBenedetto, and I get it, but it's getting old.
They
It
want a
honestly
feel-good
reminds
story.
me a lot of Bubba Wallace last season. Endless talking about him because he's a story, and I get it.
Yep.
He's a story, but if the story ain't going nowhere, what's the point in talking about it?
Yep. No, absolutely.
I agree with you.
And so getting closer to the end of the race, NASCAR called it with 18 to go. Let's shorten the laps to 10 to go and no overtimes, no whatever. They
Yep.
made that call. They told the teams before they even went back green that was going to happen eventually if they wanted to.
I almost want to say I didn't like that NASCAR did this, but at the same time, I did because everybody, I think, ran a full field run almost, or they split the stage in half somewhat.
I agree.
So they could make it the full distance if it came up, but they didn't just, oh, well, we're going to shorten it by 20 laps and now redo your strategy. Like everybody was still in the same strategy, go to the end,
right?
Because it was when NASCAR called it. It's not like they called it 10 to go with half, and they're like, 9 laps on a field run left.
Right. And I do agree with you. That made it a lot more, I guess, an easier pill to swallow. Personally, I didn't have a problem with the call because I understand you can't race in the dark. I get it.
Yeah.
You can't see. But I do think necessarily 8 extra laps might not have killed them. They might have been able to get it done.
But at the same time, we don't know how dark it was there because
the
cameras
because the
make
cameras
everything brighter.
I agree. The cameras are deceiving as hell. But
I do think it was darker at Martinsville when Jeff Gordon won.
I agree, 100%. But that's Martinsville, so I think they're going to push the limits with that no matter what.
That's true.
But and green white checker too, because I mean they know it's 2 laps. You know what I mean? It's not running 8 more, maybe more if green white checkers. But I do agree with what you're saying though regarding they all ran their strategies. You know what I mean? The call didn't really affect the strategy. So that's what I really liked. It still played out, I think, the way it should have. I think the only thing that might have changed is Bell might have gotten Almirola. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
he was what, half a second?
Yeah, I mean, he was half second. He was
1.7 to half a second.
Like we said earlier, the racing that we saw, you really had to set up a pass. You couldn't just drive up there and drive away.
No, yeah, it took a few
Almirola was kind of the only one we saw do that toward the end.
But we could have seen a bump and run too.
No,
I agree.
I definitely would have saw.
Right.
We would have saw some bumper.
I don't know though. I mean, we haven't seen Bell in that type of position yet. Even in Xfinity, really. He just either dominates or doesn't. You know what I mean?
I mean, in the Truck Series, he bumped Kyle for a win, and that was his owner. So
I mean, but I don't know though.
I think Kyle expects that.
I think he would have raced Almirola respectively. I really do, and I think Almirola would have repaid that as well. Don't know. We never will, but I think he would have won it regardless, even if they did run the 8 laps. So I didn't have too much of an issue with them calling it early.
I personally did. Because I want to say this without any okay, back when they did it in 2006 at Kansas, okay, where they shortened the race and Greg Bithell should have won, and then Jimmy ended up winning, and all this weird whatever happened, all that happened. Okay, they knew that could have exactly happened the same way, right? So My point is they should have said before they even got back green, they should have said,
What
hey,
the final lap would have been.
they should have said, hey, we're only going to run to 250. Okay? That's just me. That's what I think that should have happened. And then got rid of the second stage. Okay? I know that kind of sounds stupid, but and to me, that is racing to 100%. I understand they wanted to get as much racing as possible for the fans that bought the tickets. I understand that. But instead of like racing to darkness, that I don't know. That's just not.
I agree. That becomes a judgment call.
The thing that I don't understand is we have all this technology with all these tracks, and we don't have lights on them all. Why can't we put lights on them?
I agree. I know. I understand.
And you can't say that lighting up Daytona takes more or less lights than lighting up New Hampshire.
Right. I agree. I completely agree. I understand lighting is expensive to install. Once you have it, I'm sure it's not that expensive to use.
But it's going to open up availability to these tracks.
I agree completely. And what I'm saying is, I understand it's expensive, but at the same time, we see high school stadiums have incredible lighting systems.
Yeah.
So we absolutely know it is completely in the wheelhouse.
They're talking about making Bristol a
New
dome.
Hampshire.
They don't have a rain delay ever again.
Bro,
That'd be
we're
so
literally
loud.
wasting money to repave tracks instead of putting lights.
I mean,
New
Atlanta
Hampshire
needed
actually
it.
does
It's
have
coming
something.
apart.
When
But
they
I
first
do
I'm
think
built
not
them.
talking about Atlanta because that already has lights, right? So like,
True.
I'm meaning like tracks
Kansas,
Like Texas?
like
Texas.
Well, Texas has lights.
No,
Yeah.
but Texas is repaved.
Well, I mean, that's stupid. Like SMI should have saved their money to put lights somewhere else, or you see my point? Like I feel like
I want to see a nighttime
I
Talladega
agree.
race.
We're never gonna see that.
that's
We
That's
may.
right. Shut your fucking mouth.
I think that's too.
I'm-
dangerous.
I don't think there's a
It's
reason
too
for it, though.
dangerous.
Yes.
I agree. They're gonna be fucking cruising for one, and for two, I don't think it's needed. We rarely see rainouts in Alabama.
That's true.
It's not needed, really.
Okay, so look at the tracks where rain or timing could be bad.
Well, I mean, Alabama could become one of them because we have seen some late races. But even with that being said, I think that'd probably be the last one on the list that we would see lights at. I think we would see
Watkins Glen would be the last.
I think we could see him at Watkins Glen before we would at Dega.
Yeah.
That'd be dope if they were at Watkins, but
I think we could. It'd be cheaper too. Well, maybe not.
that's a big track.
No, it'd be cheaper.
It'd probably be about the same, I guess.
I think it'd be cheaper because like
There's some lights that would
you
cover
do not have to light up
extra.
I mean, yes, you have to light up the whole track, but you have to light up mostly the turns and the braking points more than anything, right?
Right.
And the facilities.
So like if Talladega, you're running 5 feet from the next guy, like you have to.
You
make
have
sure
to
that-
light the whole thing. There's
The
have to be
track has
lights
to be lit.
inside, outside,
Yeah.
everything. You're right.
They do exactly what Daytona does. Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, yes, technically,
Right.
but just a little bit. I mean, 1.6 miles bigger. So like it lays
Yeah,
nothing.
they'll be all right.
1.6 miles.
0.16 miles.
Point.
There you go.
Yeah. He
Did I say
corrected himself. Yeah, he
Yeah.
corrected
I thought
himself.
he said. I
At
thought
first
said
he said 1, but then he said 0.6.
Yeah,
he
Oh,
he like paused, I guess, but
Yeah, I heard what I was trying to say, but
okay.
long story short, Eric Amarillo won the race. Congrats to the 10 team because SHR was struggling really hard, like hard. Like they still are. I mean,
oh yeah, they
one
still
win
are.
isn't going to change their whole team,
No.
but
I think it was good though, because I if I'm not mistaken, Kevin didn't finish in top 5, did he? He lost it at the end.
Okay, so here's
I was gonna say that was the first time 2 cars have finished top 5, but it's not. So
here's a random question. Now that Almirola has a win, does he still stay with SHR next year?
no, I fully believe they're dropping him 100%. I don't know who's taking it. They could go down to a 3 car, but I think they're dropping.
Matty
him.
D. That was a rumor.
He's not taking the 10. That's trading one apple for a freaking orange. They ain't gonna do nothing either.
I know.
uh,
Yeah, Matty doesn't bring sponsor.
That
yeah.
too.
Haley Deegan.
That too.
Haley Deegan is not going straight to Cup.
No.
He
I know she's not.
He completely changed the whole playoff picture, though. He kicked
Absolutely, man.
uh,
He kicked Austin out.
Dillon. out of the playoff picture right now. He's -5 behind his teammate Tyler Reddick, and then Harvick is +82.
Plus 82. Going into that race, I believe Harvick was like plus 165 or something like that. To drop to plus 82,
it's because Almirola won, so it made the gap so much different.
I know why, but it's just that's crazy. How that just shows how much it really changed, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Harvick was comfortable as hell.
Yeah.
2 people under him, 160-point gap. Now 1 person under him, 82-point gap. That gap is technically
you could do it.
Austin Dillon can beat Harvick in points technically.
Yep.
And then on top of that, if someone wins from the outside again, which we could very well see at 2 more road courses, Michigan, which I gotta hope Kevin wins, and then Daytona on top of that, Harvick and Reddick for that matter is not sitting pretty. They need to freaking sweat. They need to win.
They don't even need to go for points. They
need to win.
Teams go for points because they really focus on the other team so much that they lose a chance of winning a race.
Right. They need to go win. Absolutely.
I almost feel like Hamlin's kind of in this defense mode.
And
he has enough of a he has enough of a points gap. 283 over the cut.
Oh, yeah. He's in as long as no one wins.
No matter what.
Yes,
unless we get more than 16 winners,
which we can see. We have two road courses, Michigan and Daytona. I don't think he needs to be on defense mode. I think he needs to be on win mode because me and Dylan were talking before you guys got on. Say we get 2 more winners this year. Hamlin then in theory is going to drop 13th, 14th to start the playoffs because he will be behind drivers with wins.
But even if he doesn't win the regular season championship,
then he's out. Right.
He could still be in with only 5 playoff points. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
So that's terrible. I mean, how good he's done all season. He could literally be out in the round of 16 because he didn't win races. That's just that's awesome. That's great. But awesome. As much as I hate this playoff system, I think to me it is the most exciting thing, and it's exciting and it's even, right? I really think
it's fair. It's a fair system.
Yeah, I hate when people be like, well, every champion since 2014 has been a fluke. No, literally all of them. I even credit Kyle Busch for 2015 because he did exactly.
They played the system the way that they needed to play the system, and that's the way you win it right now.
And he did it by the rules. And as much as I hate it, because I am not a Kyle Busch fan at all,
I thought it was an incredible comeback story. I loved it.
It was still an incredible comeback story. I still hated it, but it was still.
It was amazing.
You did everything right, and you can even go as far as to say as Matt Crafton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did everything right. You don't have to win in this system.
No.
Does it help?
You finish ahead of the others.
Exactly. It comes down to one race. It's simple as that. If you can make it to that one race, that's all that matters. And you have to beat 3 other guys. That's it.
And if you can't win, then clearly you didn't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's simple as that. If you can't get there, then...
Because literally, yes, it comes down to one race, but it technically takes the whole season to get to that one race.
Right.
Because if you don't score enough playoff points through the regular season,
you're gonna have to do a lot of winning in the playoffs to make it.
And then if you do a lot of winning in the playoffs,
it still might not be
good. You deserve it. You literally
Tony Stewart.
Bingo, 2011.
Right.
Perfect.
Right, and that's still different, but yeah.
But I think that's where they got this idea from, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, because we saw. I mean, if you put that same situation with this points, well, I don't say Stewart pointed his way in because obviously it would have been a point because I don't know if he would have made it in this system point wise, but say he pointed his way in and then went out and won the last 5 races. Okay, he would have absolutely still been the champion. You know what I mean? As long as he made it to the round of That's what the last 5 races straight he won. Something.
Well,
like that?
he won like every other race.
Yeah, it was every other race he won.
I thought it was the last 5 specifically.
No, he didn't win
No.
5 in a row.
No,
It was like
he
okay.
won the first race of the playoffs, didn't win, won again, didn't win, won again, didn't win, didn't win, won again, and then.
So then that would have absolutely been perfect with the specific playoff system we had.
Yeah.
Absolutely been perfect.
Yeah.
There's your champion right there.
Well,
Yep.
So
That's crazy.
This is a shout out to the Iceberg if anybody's listening and watching. But he does a series of like every year if we had the playoffs, and he goes through the whole season and he explains like who would be in the top 16, who would make it with playoff points and all this stuff, and like legit. Most of the champions that was real end up being the playoff championship.
Yep.
Right.
Because like
they performed.
Like it's not like.
Like I think the few. I think you have like like there was a few in like the 90s where it didn't happen because it was the guy just had to lead one lap.
Yeah.
Right. Especially with the lap bonus you used to get back then.
I wish they still did that. I'll be honest.
I mean, actually, we saw a championship come down to that. That was the one with Bill Elliott and then Hale Yarrow, Alan Quickie, maybe something like that.
It was Alan.
It literally came down to who led the most laps. That's what the championship came down to.
Yeah, because they all wrecked. Remember, like they all wrecked.
Davey Allison.
Yep.
And then
that's crazy.
Alan came in 4th in the points into the race, and then literally led the most laps, and then finished 2nd, and that's how he won the championship.
And who won the race?
I can't remember.
Bill Elliott.
Bill Elliott, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't.
I knew Bill Elliott was in the equation. I just didn't know the point or who was racing.
Bill Elliott had to lead. I think Alan only led.
Bill had to lead the most. It was simple as that. Bill had to lead the most, and he did it. That's crazy. But
we're getting off track. Going back to the race, awesome job by Eric Almirola. I do wish we could have seen a battle between him and Bell. I think it would have been entertaining.
I think it would have been a clean but entertaining battle.
Yeah.
Maybe
bumping and banging coming to the line.
I don't even think that. I truly think we would not have seen as much aggression that we saw out of Keselowski and Blaney. It wouldn't have been.
I think Almirola, knowing his position, I think Almirola would have said, nope, bang.
I think he would have been defensive, but I think he would have raced him clean.
I don't think he would have because he knows he was mathematically eliminated.
Well, yeah. There was no math to it. He wasn't going. But
that's what I'm saying. I think he would have hit him.
Maybe. I don't know, though. I've never seen Almirola race like that, so I just don't think it would change. But who knows? I mean, I
think he would just because of the way that Chase Elliott raced him.
Yeah.
The only time I saw him race was that when he broke his back. So.
Yeah.
Oh, when he plowed into Jimmy Johnson.
That wasn't Jimmy Johnson. That was Danica. But
yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
No, Darlington.
What are you talking about? No, it was definitely Kansas and Logano and Danica.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of Allmendinger and Darlington.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you not remember that though? Logano had something break, like in the right front, I believe, and Danica's right here and just straight up into Danica.
Yeah, no, I remember it.
She always had the worst luck. Yeah, she wasn't that great.
He really
but
did.
He took the biggest hit.
When it came to wrecks, she took some hard hits.
And she still, every time she walked away.
Yeah,
NASCAR for you. Real quick though, back to the old NASCAR, or not even the old NASCAR system, but just NASCAR's playoffs in general. Oh yeah, that's right. And Almirola. Bam!
I don't know. I'm guessing there had to be oil on the track.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no, because he didn't. He's locked up and he's still just barreling in.
Oh yeah, you can see his front tires; they're not rolling, and he's. But back to the playoffs and stuff. Like you said though, with the fantasy thing that shows the different playoff systems and stuff, and who would have been champions, it's as simple as that. As like you said, it doesn't matter what system you're in. It really doesn't. If you're performing, you got a good shot. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? Yep. If you're not performing, then you don't. It doesn't matter if it's your win you're in. It doesn't matter if it's you take points the whole season. If you perform, you're giving yourself the best opportunity. And that's not even in NASCAR. That's in anything you do, period. if it's some sort of point system. If you're performing, you're giving your best shot.
Yep. But going on, what other news? Hendrick Motorsports faces an L1 penalty. So reading up on it, it looks like I understand the 9 got penalized. From what I understood, it was because the 48 used an engine that the 9 was supposed to use.
Why is that a penalty?
Because it has to be the same chassis, same car, same driver, same team.
Yeah.
So all right. So I got a question about this because I don't know how this really works. So was this done like in the shop before the race, or was this done like at the track?
Yes.
Hang on.
Yes.
No, I think it was in the shop. In shop.
So why would that be an issue though necessarily? If it's in shop that they choose to make that engine change.
Well, okay. So it was actually the 9's engine that was won.
Right.
Okay. He won with that.
It doesn't say anything about winning, though, actually, when I read it. But, so, when the long block is sealed, the engine must be used in the same vehicle number the next time it is used. So, if that engine was used by Chase Elliott, it has to be used again by Chase Elliott, not Alex Bowman.
And I think if you want to switch drivers, it has to be like 16 races or something.
What like, in the case of, like, the number change, how does that work though? The 48 and the 88 type of stuff like that, and then also in the case of like
it's a new season, that's why.
Okay, so if it's the same season, I guess that would make sense if it's the same season. But if it was like from season to season, it wouldn't matter though.
Yeah, because then it's a new season, everybody's starting. But then whatever you started with that season, that's what you're using.
Okay, that makes sense. I just didn't know that was a thing.
Competition officials deducted 25 points from each total. Crew chiefs for the 9 and 48 suspended for don't know how many weeks, but also fined $50,000.
That's going to hurt Elliott dramatically.
I don't think it will because they're not. It's not like they're going to practice or anything like that. Elliott, he can still do everything. He just can't go to the track. He can put the setup in.
Yeah, that's true, yes, but
not to mention
by a spot
they're just not. They're not allowed to show up there.
I didn't see them getting suspended. I didn't see the crew chief getting suspended. I saw the other names.
No, they got fined. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they didn't get suspended.
50,000 each.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, it was 50,000 each, and they got suspended.
Oh, they suspended Jeff Andrews, the organization director of Track and Engine Support, Scott Maxim, for the next Cup Series event.
Yeah. It wasn't the crew chiefs because that they're not involved with the engine department side. I mean, they are, and they're not. But like,
either way.
So because of that,
I don't think it'll hurt them too much, especially going to Watkins Glen. Hendrick Motorsports addressed it, saying we apologize for the mistake and have taken steps to ensure it will not be repeated. Somebody's getting fired.
We did. Do you want to talk about SRX? Or?
Didn't we talk about it last week?
Let Mitch do it.
Yeah, let Mitch just take care of SRX real quick. We do have another, not news, but a funny thing going on this week. Kyle Busch is going outrageously insane this week. He drank a couple beers the other day. You know, he was twerking on Instagram. And then last night, legit last night, he was driving on a golf cart, drunk out of his mind with 4 of his buddies.
Golf cart? I thought you said goat cart.
Was it on a public road?
Oh, okay.
No, well, public road, maybe like a golf course, or not like a golf course, but like a golf, like
a golf path?
Yeah, whatever it was.
As long if it was a public street, he could get a DWI. That's why I'm asking, because it is technically a motorized vehicle.
Yeah,
I mean, you can get a.
He had the interview. That
you can get one while walking.
Address the events in the past 24 hours to take a few questions from those you're going to hear. So, Kyle?
Nice. We love it. It's beautiful. Mr. Bush.
We'll take one from left.
Mr. Bush, according to my notes, as of 11:11 p.m. last night, I have heard that law enforcement may have been involved. Is that true?
I
confirm that things did get a little rowdy last night. Mr. Bush, over here.
Yes, DJ Slugger from the Marina Bar.
Yeah, Mr. Bush, were there any casualties last night? We lost a few along the way. Can you elaborate, please?
No, we're
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
We're done here, thank you.
That's great, man. I love that they're having fun with that.
Yeah. Like,
I'm sure Gibbs hates it.
Oh, I'm sure that every single one of his sponsors are like freaking out right now.
They're like, are you freaking kidding me right now, man? But
You're the candy man.
I
Maybe
like
not
that they're
Mars,
having
because,
fun
like,
with it at least, because it just shows a lot of their personalities alone. You know,
Yeah.
obviously I assume you guys don't, but I personally don't know the other people that were in the video. I assume just his buddies or something. But
They were high school buddies and roommates.
Or it's
while
a
he
mix
was
of both.
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So it just shows their personalities and kind of like their mindset as hanging out, and that's just cool to see. You know what I mean? It really gives you an inside look to what Kyle Busch is when he's not full on competing. You know what I mean? It's almost a refresher to see that these NASCAR people, they're human. You know what I mean? They're not just putting these suits on and just saying sponsor stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, I was impressed with his response when he got out of the car.
He really held back, and that showed a lot of maturity.
He held back, but he was able to voice his frustration without saying anything.
Right. We all know if he ain't saying something, then he's mad anyway. But
Just that.
I mean, how many?
So hard.
How many? Right.
His frustration.
How many times have we seen him decline to interview?
Plenty.
Countless.
Can I go?
He goes.
They're asking me the stupidest shit over and over again.
That's one of the best interviews, man. I swear to God, that is one of the best.
I say that's up there with "I'm just here so I don't get fined."
And then my second favorite after "I'm just here so I don't get fined" is definitely "Everything's great."
Everything's great. Just looking forward to getting back in my car, going out there and practice, and this and that. Oh,
So
how's
how do you
this and
think
that?
you and Joey Logano are gonna race each other?
Everything's
in Phoenix?
great.
Everything's great. He's such a kid.
That's one of the best. That's one of the best.
Like,
Mitch.
I'm so glad he's in our sport.
Oh yeah, Mitch. Going on throughout the weekend, we had the series finale of the SRX or season finale SRX.
Yeah. That was I'm sad, man. I'm sad to see it go.
Hey, you can play it on a video game.
Yeah, but it's not the same.
I know.
I mean, obviously they went to National Fairgrounds. We saw Chase Elliott come through and have a hell of a race, man. I mean, Heat 1 and 2, we pretty much saw Bill have the fastest car, realistically, I would say. Not much happened, Heat 1 and 2, but once Heat 3 started, Chase and Bill just battled until it came down to that one restart. Bill took the high side, overdrove the corner. Then it pretty much became the Chase Elliott race with Stewart.
Stewart was coming.
I think Stewart had a better long run car, but it just came down to.
But Chase, I feel like Chase just managed this. He was just managing almost too. Yeah. It was awesome to see Chase though and Bill race because I think that's like a lot of cool
pictures from it.
I think that's the second time they've ever raced together, if I'm correct.
Yep. And I believe the first time, like Chase Elliott ended up like blowing his engine or something like lap 2, so they really didn't even race together.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like that. Both of them are going to be able to cherish forever.
Yeah.
Although I did see some posts about Bill Elliott, and it's people posting about him. I don't know if it's true. Apparently, he turned down a fan, and fans had to tell him to, hey, it's a kid. Take a picture of them. You got 5 seconds. Because Bill said, I don't have time for this. I don't know how true it is. I hope it's not.
I personally don't think it's true. I mean, we don't know. I don't know what kind of mindset it was. I don't know. But for myself, I've met Bill. Bill was awesome. He was very kind.
That's why I said, I heard about it. Then I was like, I hope this isn't true.
So speaking from a personal experience that I have had with Bill Elliott, I don't believe it. He was very kind. I mean, I literally, I'm not even joking. I mean, you guys have been to NASCAR races and you've seen famous people. You know what the lines look like to meet someone famous.
Oh yeah.
The line for Bill Elliott was a good mile long, and yeah, absolutely. I waited And once I got there, it was still a mile long behind me. So, I mean, I'm sure it's so frustrating for a famous person and stuff. You see the line and stuff, I'm meeting all these people and this and that. But with that being said, when I got there, we still had a good 2-3 minute conversation, took a picture, I talked about Chase for a minute, this and that. And then my dad followed up and had the same exact thing, talked with him for 2.5, 3 minutes, this and that,
Yeah.
have real conversations and you see how they are as persons. So I don't believe
that's
it.
Why I'm saying I'm hoping that didn't happen. I'm hoping it was just somebody either over exaggerating, like
right. And for all we know, Bill was about to climb in the car or something. For all we know, you know what I mean. And that happened, and they were like, "You can take a picture, just 2 seconds." I was like, "Look, I'm literally like I got one leg in the car already. Like, come on now, you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
Like we don't know the situation. I guess maybe if there's a video or something, but I hope it's not.
I don't think it is. I'm just giving information.
Right, I haven't heard nothing about that till this, but
for how him and his son are with fans,
that why
doesn't
like
even.
I don't.
I found it hard
to
don't
make sense. Yeah. Right. They were,
but at the same time, I found it hard to believe that Kurt Busch got a DWI in Homestead in 2007.
See that? It's hard to believe.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. He got suspended for the last race. It was his last race.
I remember.
And then he went and got sponsored by a beer company. Like that's you can't tell me that didn't shock you.
That's just about as good as having Jack sponsor Clint. Like
that's marketing, bro.
Yeah, that's marketing. Like
that was the best sponsor choice ever.
No, but
Casey Mears couldn't be sponsored by Cheerios, so they had to put him over. That's why Clint got taken out of the 07 because Casey Mears, when he went to to RCR, because he was sponsored by Kellogg's the season prior, he was not allowed to be sponsored by Cheerios. Yeah, so Clint got put in the 33 and Mears in the 07.
Wow, I mean that's. Wow.
I'm sorry. As soon as you leave a team, I don't think it should matter who you're sponsored by.
I agree completely. Obviously, that was a sponsored implication there, but
yep,
that's interesting. I didn't know that. But back to the SRX. The race was okay. I think it was good racing. Compared to the last 2 weeks, I would say, because almost realistically looking back, I won't say SRX was amazing. I will say it was freaking good. I enjoyed about 85% of it, but I think compared to the last 2 weeks, National Fairgrounds was a little step back in terms of excitement. But at the same time, it was amazing racing because it was Nashville Fairgrounds. We knew what we were expecting, obviously. Obviously, compared to like Slinger, all of us that really don't know the track, we don't know what we were really getting into until we saw it. So it was over the top. It was amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then going to Nashville, we've seen this track. We know what it races like, kind of. So, you know what I mean? So it wasn't nothing over the top, I would say. But it was great racing for Nashville Fairgrounds. We saw side-by-side. We saw battles, comers and goers. It was good stuff. Obviously, we saw Chase come through with the win. Stewart clinched the championship at the end of Heat 1, I'm sorry, which is awesome. I got that pick right. I picked Stewart for the championship. So
I think we all did.
I think Statboy picked Bill, actually. Didn't you? I don't know what you said, but okay.
I think we all picked.
I don't know.
I know I picked Chase for the win. I think Statboy went with Deegan.
I actually picked Bobby for the win, and Bobby actually had a decent car. Because Bobby, they talked about Bobby all night. They said he was saving his car, this and that, saving his tires, and I was like, bro, Bobby might come through with this. But
overall, good race. And I just found an article that's kind of funny on the NASCAR website. You can go there if you want to look at it. It is rejected names for the new Keselowski-Roush race team. There's 8 of them. Keselowski Motorsports, Brad Company, Poorly Kept Secret Motorsports. Finally, a reason to no longer root for the Detroit Tigers Racing. Team Jackhouse, Hot Nasty Bradass Speed Racing, American Gladiators Racing, rightfully aligning with former team of good pals Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth Motorsports. And then my personal favorite, I can tweet from inside the race car if I own the race car racing.
That's funny. Real quick before we get into that news, I will say regarding SRX, I think Stewart was extremely classy with how his very first interview that he did out of the car. You know, obviously thanked NASCAR and Hendrick Motorsports for letting Chase come over and race. I think that was awesome.
Oh yeah, and Napa.
Did he thank Napa as well?
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's cool as well. I just think he handled that initial interview extremely well, which, I mean, we know he's trained in this. He's done it for 25, 30 years now, so we expect that. But he said, I think in that first interview, he said all the right things. Honestly, he thanked everyone he needed to. Of course, he alluded that he won the final IROC championship and won the final SRX championship. I think that said a lot in that statement, that he is truly comparing this series to IROC, that he wants it to be at least something along the same lines of that. But I mean, that's really all I got so far about SRX. SRX is awesome. I look forward to it.
I can't wait.
Hopefully the schedule gets a little longer.
Absolutely, I can't wait till next season, and hopefully they do maybe 1 or 2 races. I think that's all I want to see, though. 8 total.
Okay, good racing. Other news coming out of the woodworks, obviously, Roush Fenway Racing announced this week in a press conference on Tuesday that Brad Keselowski was buying a minor ownership of the organization.
Shocked! I was mind blown, right?
Oh my goodness! Say it ain't so.
Who saw that coming,
dude?
What I found interesting was they said they did look into the whole moving it to a 3-charter team.
I saw
Brad did say he talked about possibly taking the 29, but when you think about Roush, you think of the 6, the flagship car, which is what he will be stepping into next season.
29.
Hardest. Yeah, he was thinking about 29 because that was his dad's number.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
But
that's why he ran it in the truck.
Yeah.
Yep. So
well, not him specifically, but his team, right? BKR.
Yep. But looking at it, they did offer, even though this does mean Newman's out of a job, which ramps up silly season even more, but they did offer him a part-time role at Roush for racing, which I thought that was good, that they at least offered him something like, hey, yes, we know we're pulling you out of this car. However, X, Y, and Z, this is what's happening. We still want to keep you. It shows interest. They just said financially, though, it does not make sense for them to go to a 3-car operation with the charter system inflated.
And, right, being as expensive as this. With that being said, obviously we don't know what Newman's answer was to that.
A lot of Chevy teams seem interested.
Which I'm not surprised.
Actually, we did know Newman's answer. I don't know if you Russ still all the
I do know what his answer is. His answer is no. He still wants to race for a championship.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he said you will be my last resort. He did say that.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I mean, that's good at least that he's kind of keeping that door open. But
yeah.
With that being said, where does he go?
I mean,
he's been to Penske. Penske's not going back to Penske. He's not going back to Storehouse. He's not going back to Roush.
I think he's going to go to the 38 car.
Actually, there was something interesting I saw. They were saying it's possible he could go to the 37 and realign back with Ricky Stenhouse.
Yep. I was seeing that too.
Isn't that car up?
Well, then what happens to Priest?
I think he kind
I think Priest goes down to the lower division.
Really? You think he fills in the 10?
Yeah. Like
I see.
Good. So,
I personally, I mean, I don't disagree, but I personally see Stenhouse filling in the 10 before I see Priest.
Stenhouse is a Chevy guy. He ain't switching.
Yeah.
He's in a Ford.
Oh, well, shit. Yeah, that's right. Fuck.
But the only reason I say that is because, I mean, I believe Kevin Harvick.
What do you mean he's in a Ford?
No, he's not.
He was in a Ford.
He was in a Ford. Okay.
Yeah, he's a Chevy guy.
He won an Xfinity championship for the man.
For the 6.
The top hat cap.
Dude, he's getting
or whatever.
He won 2 championships for him in a row.
Yeah, two.
It was 2.
Yeah.
I knew it was 1. I didn't know it was 2.
Yeah, it was 2 in a row, and then he went to Cup and did nothing. But
It's so weird.
that ain't fully his
I
fault,
mean,
though.
with Roush.
That was
I fully
Roush's
believe
fault.
that was right. Yeah,
That was Roush's fault. Which
Okay, so fun fact. I did want to bring this up in the podcast. I haven't said anything all week, but soon as we brought out the Gen 6, Roush fell off. Because at the end of the COT in like 2011, 2012, they were one of the teams to beat, right? And
yeah, so when we saw Kenseth up front a lot before he went to Gibbs, you know.
Yeah, and
it seemed like the COT car when that first came out. Obviously, Hendricks Motorsports was dominating. Right behind them on the tail heat or on their heels was Roush. Roush was dominating as well. As it kept going though, and everybody started figuring stuff out, you saw SHR starting to build up and becoming better. Gibbs was getting better. They were probably the third best at the time, and they had Kyle Busch and some other good guys. Joey Logano at the time. They had Denny Hamlin.
Before he was a prick.
What?
Joey Logano before he was a prick.
Yeah, he was a prick to start with.
He's always been a prick.
But like you look at that,
I agree.
Was decent. They win here and then they would fall off for a little bit, and then they win again, they fall off a little bit, it seemed. But when the COT car ended, Roush kind of it's like they didn't know where to go. Like they had no direction when the new car came out.
I agree, because the COT, they actually did decent. I mean, regarding 2012 specifically.
I mean, Gen 5 was some of their best.
Right. We saw Kenseth specifically win two of the 4 super speedways, and then dominate like all 4 of them. And then we saw Biffle won like I think both the Michigan races, and then like an Auto Club race, and then who were the other? Reagan, I believe, was he in there 2016?
Yeah.
No, Reagan wasn't there. Jimmy McMurray was.
2012?
In the 26.
Yeah, and then he's won a couple of races in there
Okay.
as well. But also,
yeah,
Reagan won the 2011 Daytona July race.
Yep. And you realistically could say he almost won the Daytona 500 if he didn't make a stupid move.
Yeah, switch lanes before the line. So
yeah,
switching line before the line. He timed that perfectly. If he waited 20 feet.
It happens.
That's all it was.
And then we also had Carl Edwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, so and
that's the other one I was trying to think of. I was
Yeah,
like,
I was
who's the
like-
Roush guy at the time? But yeah, Edwards. Yeah.
I mean, he almost won the 2011 championship. If it wasn't for Stewart, he would have won it. I mean,
Dead heat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then in 2012, the last 2 races of the season, Edwards won. So like, I mean, they literally had the COT figured out.
Yep.
And then the new car came out.
Happened. Like Edwards sucked in the 99 that year. Biffle.
They all did.
Well, Biffle sucked after 2012, anyways. But
Till he went to Kyle Busch.
and then he won a random Texas race. But
The only one.
I
I don't think he's ran a race since, except for an SRX.
Yeah.
He tried to run one this year, but he wasn't eligible for it. I think it was one of the dirts, I think, but NASCAR wouldn't let him run it or something like that.
I don't know. That sounds weird.
I don't know. Either way, though,
But all right, we're 53 minutes or 58 minutes. So,
It's not bad. But yeah.
what was we? Oh,
Roush.
Roush. Okay. So what I'm getting to is, with this new car, I mean, they kind of, what they were kind of saying, it kind of reminds them, the composite bodies, the way the bodies work. I mean, it kind of fits in the COT type of body.
I also feel that with
I think it's going to drive
over there
more
is going to
life
help them as well. Because Keselowski, clearly, he's in charge of competition, I believe.
Yeah, he is the lead competition director.
Yeah.
Which that should be, I think, realistically.
Yeah. He said he wanted some type of role, otherwise he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
He got a role that he has a say in the company and can help. He'll be in on those meetings to give information.
I think realistically he wins at the super speedways. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think
top tens at intermediates.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't think he goes off and
Yeah.
wins and dominates intermediate
Nothing-
or anything like that.
I don't think he wins
Right.
another
Nothing
championship
crazy.
switching over because of it takes
I-
time to build that notebook.
I think he will.
I think he will win a
I don't-
championship.
I think he will. I
Eventually.
think it'll be in like 2 to 3 years. I think he
Yeah.
will. No doubt.
So,
Um,
and that's what's great about this podcast is we have people who are wrong and people who are right, like me.
absolutely. I like you. Oh, okay. All right. I'll remember that one like it's 3 weeks down the road and you're just poof.
Poof.
Oh yeah, we'll discuss that at the end.
Abracadabra.
Who was that guy again?
But no, like,
No.
saying like I don't think he'll win another championship. I think he will build the organization to win a championship.
Okay.
But I do
Serious
think in order for that,
Go ahead. No, I'll let you finish. I thought you were.
but in order to do that, they need to open up their Xfinity program again.
That's what I was gonna say. So.
I agree. I do think they need to open up the Xfinity program.
It could be just one car. One car is
absolutely, just one car. Also,
Chris-
'cause especially regarding Ford as well in Xfinity series, like
There's
we're
not a
on the verge of seeing Ford just back out of Xfinity. I think
mean-
because there's freaking no one doing it. We need
There's like
more
what, 3
to keep
Fords?
them. 2. There's 2.
Do-
Or no,
do-
3. 3 this season. I think it's
The
the
38.
39. The 39.
Or 39, Ryan
Sieg.
Sieg.
Yep. So there's 3 this season, but
Well, so that's good that you
that's
say that
horrible.
because I think it will be a one-car team part-time with Brad, Chris, and then a random guy from trucks. Okay,
I could see that.
because
Absolutely.
Until they figure out who they want to take it full
Yep.
time.
Because-
It'll probably be whatever random guy they choose from trucks will
Yeah.
take it. That's
And-
probably who it'll be. The
because
next season.
which
But
it could be Todd Gillen because of like
absolutely.
because
That is a perfect pick for that too. He's
Yeah.
in Ford. He backed down to Ford.
Mhm.
He's doing great in Ford. I think that's not bad.
And then I think because that's what Penske did with the 22 with Ryan Blaney, Logano, and Keselowski himself. And so I think Keselowski would want to
Have a part in that.
I would want to say, hey, this is what we did. We built up Ryan Blaney. Look where he is now. I think we should
Yep.
do that for our next guy as well. And let's just keep it part-time, though, so we don't waste a lot of money and I can still fund it with sponsorship. You know,
Right.
and I
But
think
at the same time, though, like if they get Todd Gillen does have sponsorship. Granted, it is Black's Tires, which is a large tire corporation in I think it's like mostly like gas station and repair shops in that area.
I think also though, not only that, he does have that, but I think because of his name, because of his dad, I think he can also help find a lot of sponsorship as well.
Yeah.
I mean, who did we see Gilliland have in Cup for a long time? Was it Black Tire as well? Well, we did see him have that for a while as well, but there was something else. Long John Silver's.
Yeah.
I think we
Well, that
could
was a Furniture
easily.
Row thing, though.
I know, but I'm sure there's a relationship there.
Like I
You know
don't
what I mean?
remember who actually was with that
Right.
contract.
I'm
they
sure
could find
there's some
somebody,
sort of
yeah.
relationship there, though, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure he could absolutely help find something as well. But especially if they do bring Todd to Roush, we know David's going to be play a role of some sort because that's David. He's very involved with not only Todd's career but just racing in general. But
Well, I think with Brad taking it over, Jack looked really bad in that
No,
press conference. He did not look good. Like
yeah,
felt bad for
age
him.
wise, I understand Fenway owns a majority of it, but I think it'll eventually be Keselowski Fenway Racing, right?
I can see that.
I think the Roush name would just stay there, but I don't think Roush will be involved in the next 3
Yeah.
to 5 years. Just
I
because,
agree.
and that's why I think Brad really took this, because he was like,
and I think that's why he's been wanting it so bad. Obviously, I think he really wanted it to be with Penske.
Yeah.
But as we know, Penske, that's just not a spot for Penske.
no,
It's just not happening there.
Penske wants his hands on the reins at all time.
Absolutely.
and
and that's understandable, too. It's his business.
it's
But-
his business, and he runs it really great. I mean, look at it, right? I mean,
Right. There's nothing wrong he's doing, so I get it. But at the same time, I think Keselowski wants an easy ownership role that he can start out straight up. It's established. It's not like what Trackhouse and 2311 is doing. Like, technically, yeah, they have equipment, but you know what I mean? It's not straight up from the ground. Let's just build a freaking team. It's there. He's just going to come in and help run it.
Well,
until
he kind of compared
probably he's going to take it.
He compared it to Stewart and Haas, right?
Exactly. Right,
Yeah.
right. And then they even showed the stats, and they're dang near dead even.
Yeah, and I think that's literally a perfect representation of what
I agree.
what it would be, because
Yep.
I think 2009, Stewart won the race, and he got his team going. I think Brad does the same thing. He wins a race, gets the team going, starts putting people where they should go, and Fenway has done a really good job with putting people in places for their leadership for Brad. Yep. I think they're putting their whole backs on Brad to lift up that team. And this is the biggest thing that Jack Roush could have done, I think, because if not, I think that team was about to go
by with him.
I agree, especially with the competition and how they specifically have been racing, which is pretty good. I mean, granted, full credit to Newman. I mean, he's won, one race there now with that Phoenix, I believe. And then we've seen Busher, specifically this year, actually have decent speed. I mean, we saw him drive to the front at Homestead in stage 1 and 2 and literally looked like the fastest car until, I guess, they weren't.
He's literally 17th in points, so
that's not bad, right? So. That's not too bad, yeah. But so I mean, they've had glimmers of hope. I feel like they're on the right track, but I feel like Keselowski, not only for the equipment's sake, but just the whole inside and out. Whenever he goes to Roush, it is going to be a huge eye opener to really see what that team is at.
So another nice thing you were talking about all this. Sorry for cutting you off.
You're good.
Just doing a little bit of research. So obviously with David Gillen, Todd Gillen's father, owning DGR, that there kind of helps them if they decide to make an alliance with Roush Racing.
Yeah.
Because then you have two companies resourcing into the Xfinity program, build these drivers up, put them in the Xfinity program. The thing is, who's racing for DGR right now?
Haley.
Well, and Haley, yeah.
Where's Haley Deegan probably going to go?
Maybe Roush now. I mean, realistically, though,
she's going to Stewart Haas, but if not, then
she'll take over the. I hate.
I mean, with these developments happening, though, it could push it more toward Roush.
Oh my gosh, this is like way off topic.
I guess.
But someone tweeted at Mark Martin and said, "You're definitely one of a pretty talented driver. Would you ever race again? And would you join the SRX series next season?" And his response said, "No, I do not want to race. I've said that many a times. I'm done with my career. I'm very happy with what I've accomplished."
Yep.
Please stop adding me and commenting me and stupid stuff like this. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah. I saw that's interesting because I saw my parents. I didn't personally see the video, but my parents said they watched a short clip like during like a rain delay or like how like during rain delays they play all kinds of NASCAR clips and stuff like that, interviews and such. There was one about Mark Martin, and it was talking about basically his life after NASCAR. You know what I mean? And like they, it's quoting my parents because I personally didn't watch the video, but they said that Mark said he don't watch the racing no more. He don't watch NASCAR. He's just enjoying life at home with his family, his grandkids, yada yada yada. He said he hasn't watched a race in like 2 years, and I was mind blown. I mean, I'm sure it happens. You know what I mean? But it's just crazy.
He sees like highlights and stuff, but I'm sure he hasn't watched.
Right. I'm sure he sees videos and stuff being tagged and shit all day, every day. I'm sure, He's
not going out there doing Ken Schrader stuff.
Exactly. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, man, you had such a long career. Like, I feel like it'd be so hard to get out of it. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
it wouldn't be that difficult for him because he did have such a good career. There's no point of trying to.
There's nothing to
Well-
dwell on and wish you did better. You know what I mean? So
I think I low-key
hands
have a
down, Mark
problem
Martin's
with-
better than Denny Hamlin.
he'd fuck him up.
Oh yeah,
Not
he'd
a
fuck him
fight,
up
but a
in a
race.
car and out of the car.
No, he wouldn't fuck him up out of the car. He's too nice.
Well,
I bet you
know,
Mark Martin
I
could
low-key
beat the
have a
shit out of
problem
him.
with like him not watching NASCAR right now. Like I guess I don't have a problem with it, but I feel like
know.
if that is a dream that you've had in your whole life, like
would wanna
racing,
watch other
no matter
people
how
accomplish
bad or
it.
good it is, it's still racing, right? Like I don't.
I know
weird.
what you're saying, and I felt the exact same way because I was like, really, like I don't understand that because
I know, right?
I guarantee Darrell Waltrip is watching the race every week. I
Oh,
guarantee
he
it.
comments on it every weekend.
Guarantee
He does.
Right.
He tweets.
That's
Every
what I'm saying.
weekend.
It's
Yeah.
mind blowing to me
I
that
gotta turn
Mark
that on.
Martin doesn't. I mean, I understand Mark's not a champion, but Mark has had a hell of a career, 50 plus Xfinity wins. What the same for Cup, like 20 truck wins, some shit like that. I don't know, but I mean, he has had an incredible career. He's had an incredible dream to do that. You would think that you would want to continue watching, and
Yeah.
not only that, but you invested so much time and effort into that yourself. You would want to see what kind of impact you have on that. So I was mind blown by that he didn't. It's like he didn't care. And I mean, I also understand. You know, it's a thing of the past. You move on. I get it, but we just don't see that in NASCAR.
Yeah.
You know, you don't move on. You keep following along, and you still
You
show
get
up.
involved, it seems some way.
We've seen Edwards pop up here and there. Edwards just
Bro,
disappeared, and we've
I want to
seen
see
him pop
Edwards
up.
in that shit.
Oh,
SRX.
I think we're gonna see Edwards in SRX. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. And I love it.
Oh yeah. But going on, because
we just have
we've
predictions.
beaten the horse to death.
The Roush horse.
The Brad Roush horse.
Oh, the Brad.
Silly season keeps getting ramped up.
The
here.
only other thing I wanted to say about Roush, I had to think about it, is
Go ahead.
whenever Kozlowski goes there, it's going to be a real testament to see where their equipment is.
Yeah.
I think if we see
Top 15.
well, yeah, I mean top 15, but even I was gonna say I think if we see Kozlowski run, almost like the kind of same type of situation as Kevin Harvick to the rest of SHR, I think if we see something like that, then we know the equipment is good. It's just they need to put the pieces in the right places.
But going on from there, are we going into the playoffs?
Yeah, because that's
All
where
right.
we're going to end it, because we're already at an hour and 12.
There is currently only three drivers, in the top 16 without a win, and we have 4 races left. We talked about it earlier, Tyler Reddick +5, Austin Dillon -5, and Harvick's only at 82, couple bad races. He's on that line.
And it's not looking good with 2 road courses, but there's also Michigan in there, which is
That's his best chance to win
I
right
think if Harvick makes the playoffs, that is his saving grace. 100% Michigan is his saving grace.
Yep. And I would even say Watkins Glen, just because he seems to run decent there. He may not be flashy. He doesn't show up to win.
I agree. He seems to
he's
be
consistent.
decent. He does have a win there, but I think you don't rely on that. You go to what you know, which has been Michigan.
Yeah,
realistically, especially the past 2-3 years, he's dominated.
I'm going to say I have a pick already for Michigan because one driver has always done amazing there in underrated equipment. And that's guys in the 5 car right now.
Larson.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's done good at Michigan, but he's done even better at Auto Club. So I'm not. I mean, yeah,
They're very similar though.
In Hendrick equipment, I expect Hart Larson to do great. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough.
All right.
I think we may get a repeat of Larson versus Kyle Busch.
In Michigan?
Well, didn't they do that?
Or you mean like the Chicago race, or
yeah, the Chicago race, kind of like that.
Yeah, no. Harvick's gonna win it.
No, okay.
I hope.
But
I'm not gonna lie.
But looking at
Okay.
the
So let's start off. Who do you have in, and then who do you have out with 4 races to go?
are we looking at just non-winners?
Well,
I didn't necessarily say out, but
so
I put who's in basically.
okay. Well, that's fine. That just go from there, and then.
So
Well, that tells you who's out.
I said aside from obviously the race winners because they're obviously in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip Watkins Glen because that's doesn't matter. Briscoe, I'm going with is winning at Indy and winning his way in. Michigan, I'm going with is winning at Kevin is winning at Michigan and winning his way in. And then Denny is going to win at Daytona.
Oh.
And with that, the win at Daytona is going to push Briscoe back out.
So I see falling out.
What?
So for me,
that would the 3 would be 16.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Because Denny's already in. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So Denny makes it
So-
in Daytona. Yeah.
Denny's going to lose the regular season championship. He's going to plummet in the standings. He will make the playoffs. However, I see it sitting kind of as it is. I just see it getting shaken up a little bit down at the bottom because I think Tyler Reddick's going to show up he's going to be in a must-win situation at Daytona, and the way that he raced it
last year.
Yep, the way he made that gutsy move last year to get there, he's going to make something like that. But I think he's going to be able to win it actually to get in. I think that going into the playoffs, everybody that has a win obviously is in, and then Reddick is the only other winner. I think other than that, we're going to have repeat winners.
I think the only repeat winner we're going to have at Watkins is with Watkins Glen, which I'm not going to say the winner because that's
we all know what we're thinking.
That's pretty
oh no, I'm on a whole different road from what y'all are thinking. I know what y'all are thinking, and that's not what I'm thinking. No, not a Chevy.
No, he's thinking of a certain driver that's 12th in points, drives a Toyota.
12th?
And playoffs points.
I don't know what that looks like. Let me look.
All right.
I'll just say yes or no.
Stat boy. All right. What you got?
So, Watkins, you know what I'm thinking. I don't need to tell y'all. Indy, Matty D's going to do it.
All right.
The reason I didn't say
strategy.
Watkins Glen though is because it is a repeat winner, but
Yeah.
12th in playoff standing or drivers?
Yeah. Playoff.
So Michigan, I think Harvick ends up getting it done. Daytona,
Bell?
Reddick gets his revenge.
Yeah.
No,
So
not Bell.
does that mean Hamlin's out, or did he win the regular season championship?
Nope, Hamlin's out.
I'm sorry. Who is in? I wasn't listening.
Matty D, Harvick, and Reddick. Hamlin's out. Larson passes
Matty
him
D
for second at Daytona.
That's bold. I would love it though.
Can you imagine? Say we get
Him would fucking cry.
if we get two more winners. Say we get two more winners, and it comes down to
Points.
somebody else or to a third winner at Daytona, and Hamlin is out because he loses the championship.
He will lose the championship. I'm minding
yeah.
he hasn't yet. He's lucky.
Larson is. He has been performing well. He's just speeding penalty.
Right.
Loose
So
wheels.
two road courses. I mean, Denny's good at road courses. Don't get me wrong, but
He's not chase good.
Hendrick is better right now, so he's going to lose points. Michigan, Denny's okay at Michigan, but there's a lot of other people better than him in Michigan, and the Daytona will be Denny's saving grace, which is that's why I chose him as Daytona. But
I see him getting caught up early. He's going to have a bad starting position, I think.
I think he will have a bad starting
Reddick's
position
move's going to
following Michigan, but we've seen Denny the past 2-3 years, specifically, hang around in the back for stage 1 and 2.
Yeah. How
stage
pissed would you be? How pissed would you be if, say, the top 16 crash at some point at Daytona and have no chance to win, and there's one playoff spot open?
Imagine
be
So
awesome.
in the theory that
Where
there's
to the playoffs?
in the theory that there's two more winners outside or slash Kevin or Raddick
What?
win. I could see it because the top 16 are going to quote unquote have nothing to lose, but everything to gain in a way. But at the same time, exactly besides Denny. So I could see it. Absolutely. I could see them all crashing out and then Denny just winning, making his way in because everyone wrecked.
But at the same time, you could see Austin Dillon win there. You could see Matt DiBenedetto even winning there because look at what he did at Talladega. He had a good car. I mean, you could see Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace gets in, Denny Hamlin gets knocked out.
I was gonna say just imagine the top 16 wreck, including Denny, and then Custer win. Fucking Anthony Alfredo. He's 30th in points right now. Anthony Alfredo. Watch him win. He's in.
And, honestly, Corey LaJoy could win.
Corey LaJoy, absolutely. I mean, if there's two more winners, I think the odds of Denny Hamlin making it in the playoffs are the slimmest of absolutely anybody.
Oh, yeah. So this is going to be random before Dylan goes into his. I like Corey LaJoy as a racer. I think he went to the Cup Series way too quick. Because if you've seen... What?
Woo. Sorry.
Because if you look at like his late model days and stuff like that, he was wheeling that shit. Like he is a good racer, obviously. I feel that he went up to the Cup Series too quick because more money, and that's what is hurting him because now he's just stuck in that lower level equipment.
I really think we're going to see this more and more within the next 10, 15 years. Honestly, we're going to see multiple drivers take step backs in their career, just like we saw John Hunter. That's what Corey LaJoy needs to do. That is what Anthony Alfredo.
I don't think he needs to go back to trucks.
Not necessarily trucks. Absolutely, that's a little excessive going to trucks. But at the same time, if there's no rides in Xfinity, go to trucks. Yeah, you know, I mean, absolutely. You can even have a better opportunity to
get still brings Corvette
better equipment. I know. So I think we're going to see a lot of people do that in the next 5-10 years because there's just so much talent. There's so much talent. It is unreal. We haven't seen this much talent, I would say, since like 2004 or 5 in that era.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. It's a new generation.
Back when there was like
tons of people coming in.
20 drivers that could win week in and week out.
Right. I mean, when you look at it, the only 3 drivers left are Kevin, Newman, and Kurt that were from 2001 anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that says, actually, not even Newman. Newman wasn't even there for 2001. He came in
there like
3.
Yeah, but 2 races.
Early 2000s.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, though, is, you know, we're about to begin a new generation. So 2002? Okay. But, so to make sure you get a ride, because we're not going to see a lot of silly season changes and stuff like that in the next couple of years unless there's, you know, internal issues and stuff within the teams and stuff. But to get a good ride, you're going to have to step back down and prove yourself in better equipment, you know what I mean, Xfinity or trucks or whatever with better equipment to have a shot at moving up. And if you don't, you're going to disappear. You're going to turn into like a Kevin LePage or fucking, I got a couple autographs from truck guys that DCE wouldn't even know. You know, exactly, Trevor Bayne, stuff like that. You're going to turn into one of them if you don't prove yourself now. Like the time is now.
Bold prediction, and this is just, I don't know why this just popped in my head because I could actually see this happening. Chase Elliott leaving HMS for SHR to go for the Ford. No, not anytime soon.
Chase Elliott's going to be in the 9 car for his entire career.
No. Well, the 9 goes over, the 10 goes away. Because...
Not happening.
Chase, I said I could see this happening. I'm not saying it's going to. I could see it, though.
I think...
Because I could see Chase getting upset fighting Kyle Larson for the top dog.
Okay, who cares? We saw Gordon get upset.
This is always the top dog.
Gordon was in a lifetime contract, though, since 1999.
Yeah, well...
Chase could get that his next contract.
We also could have saw Johnson leave, though, and he never did. I don't think Elliott
But I
or
don't.
Larson, for that matter, will ever leave Hendrick from this point on till their careers over.
Well,
Steve Byron leaving, honestly.
I don't think there will be a top dog because how equal, like,
They are.
stock car
Exactly.
talent they are. Like, I really
Yeah.
like when it comes to stock. Honestly, I think Chase is a notch above Larson when it comes to stock car racing itself.
Stock
But-
car, yeah, absolutely.
Just because of like, I know SRX you really can't compare to like whatever, but because of how good he did in SRX, that just showed like he really is a notch more than what people think.
I want
Right.
to see Larson in that car too.
Oh,
I agree.
well,
I mean, Stewart said it himself. He wants both of them next season, so
he
we'll
wants
see.
both of them next season. So,
Oh, can you imagine
Full
same
time
race?
too.
yeah.
Full time. The whole season.
What'd you say, Thomas?
I was like,
The
can you
same
imagine them
race.
both the same race?
Oh,
But he
dude,
wants.
it'd be-
He wants them
At
full
Bowman
time,
Gray.
though.
Bowman Gray.
They're not going to go to Bowman Gray,
They
sadly.
should.
Eldora.
There's so many other venues that
dude, just
see
Bro.
those cars.
imagine them at Rockingham.
Bro, Rockingham would be amazing. I think that is like.
We're getting in the weeds again. I'm sorry. I opened a
I
can of
think
worms.
that's a great track though. I think Rockingham, as
yeah.
example, is the biggest track SRX should be at. Right there. That is
Yeah.
the biggest track. They shouldn't be at anything bigger than Rockingham. That's
Besides
1.2
that one
I
day
think
experience.
miles.
I think eventually they go to like Charlotte though, because like that would be
I think
like
so too.
yeah,
but-
because like
More people. You sell more tickets.
yeah, more people and like the draft would be in effect too, because of like those vehicles are a little different. So
Okay, just
Um,
go to Dega.
so it'd be like a mini Dega. It would be kind of cool.
Exactly. I think though regarding Chase, he's more talented regarding stock car.
Yeah.
Larson is no doubt in my mind. He has more raw talent. No offense
Oh,
to Chase.
absolutely.
No
Yeah.
offense to Chase, because Chase is
No,
absolutely very talented. But Larson he hops in a car, man. He flies. Like that's just the way Larson's been. The only thing I haven't seen him do that in is honestly Xfinity. But if we saw him go back now,
with
it might be
JRM.
it might be a different story. Right. But I don't know. I don't think either of them guys ever leave Hendrick. I think they're locked in.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm just saying, like, I
Hendrick
could
is
see
stupid
that.
to let him
That's
go.
the only reason I said that is because I could see it happening.
I mean, I agree. If maybe there's some internal issues or something, maybe money wise, someone wants money, Hendrick don't want to give it or something. But even then, I don't see Hendrick not giving them what they want.
You know,
No.
if it's going to happen, it's Hendrick's gone and it's Jeff running it.
And then Jeff will be like Chase.
That could be a different story.
Oh, and then
that-
Chase would be the top dog because Gordon already said like, bro, like this guy. I mean, he pretty much bought Chase from
Yeah.
Bill.
He did.
Like,
Yeah, from the
literally-
get-go.
Yeah.
Hey, does your son want to drive for me? Good.
Yeah, I think if
Here's
either
10
of them
million.
left, though, it would be. I think if either of them left, it would be Larson, and it would be Larson going to SHR. And like I said, that would absolutely have to be like horrible circumstances.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
But-
mean? Like Larson's fired for saying the N word again. Type
No,
of situation.
I honestly think if he goes to SHR, I think it's because they go to Chevrolet again. Because
Or that, yeah.
Because Ford, because I think Stewart is like a little upset with Ford right now because of that. I mean, and Chevy's only gonna get better, right? Like, I mean,
At the rate they're going, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I
I'll be
think
gone.
I think Ford's gonna be in the dust again, back when they were like in 2013, 2014. You know,
I think Roush will become the new top Ford eventually.
oh, that'd be fun to see. A bit like
I think
3
Penske
to
will
5 years
falter.
from now.
I think Penske will fall.
I mean, we
SHR
can see
will fall
it. We
a
just
little
said
bit.
earlier that we think Keselowski could win a champion in 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't think he will. I think another driver will, though.
I think it's going to be the same situation of Stewart. I think it's going to be like 3 to 5 years. Keselowski himself will win it.
That's possible too. But Dylan, what was your pick for the playoffs?
So
Yeah, we kind of
it's,
way off.
I didn't mean for that to go off like that.
No,
Like,
it was a fun talk of it. It's good. So who I have in, I have Briscoe winning Indy road course as well. I do think that just fits his driving style. So just be like,
Especially it
happy to do
being
a lot of
flat.
Xfinity. But because I just think that is Briscoe, right? Like I just feel like Briscoe wins at Indy. And then I also have Matty D winning at Daytona. Because I truly believe that he will get his 100th win for the Wood Brothers.
I think he will, but I don't think it's going to come till Dega, personally.
Yeah, well, no, obviously no, but I think Daytona, it's something just going to lit on fire under him and just like he's just going to be mad aggressive, and I think Penske will be behind him too, like in the same point, like I think they will push him to help them win. I think. But
Blaney Logano might, Keselowski might not.
Well, because if he wins, it helps out them in the playoffs.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
because it can knock out like heavy hitters like Harvick or Hamlin, So
right, someone that can just turn their whole season around in the blink of an eye.
Yeah,
gotta hope they do, but
but I do have Denny actually winning the regular season championship because, I think Larson's not going to focus on that. I think they're going to focus on the playoffs because that's just who Hendrick is.
Try to get stuff around for the playoffs.
Yeah, so I just think they're going to fall off a little bit here in the next couple weeks. And that's why I personally don't think the Nine's going to win next week because it's so close to the playoffs.
Who do you think is going to win?
We'll find out next week.
All right.
But
I figured you were going to say that.
Now, who is out? Unfortunately, it is Reddick and Harvick and Austin Dillon. So I think all of those people, those heavy hitters, will not make it to the playoffs this season. Actually had Harvick not winning and not in the playoffs at the beginning of the season to my parents, and they thought I was stupid.
It's looking more and more real as a kid.
Yeah, and
especially with that 10-car win.
Yeah, to me,
Harvick is pissed right now.
Oh, it's scary, man. It's not a lack of performance. I mean, I know
he's the only. Realistically, when you look at it, he's the only one who's been performing.
Yeah,
the 10-car had a good car out of the blue.
Yeah.
And it's not like Harvick wasn't far off either, though. Harvick was decent, but
I feel like the 10 or Almirola does not repeat. I think his season goes right back to where it was.
Absolutely.
He's
not making
right
back. No, absolutely. I completely. We're going into 2 road courses, Michigan and Daytona. If anything, he's gonna maybe have a top 10 at Daytona, and he's not gonna run good at road course. He's not a road racer. Michigan, he's been subpar. I mean, I completely agree with you. He's not gonna be the same that he was last week. But I'm going to go to the restroom.
All right. Well, I'm going to end off the podcast anyway. So,
before we go, unfortunately, we have some news to announce. This will be my last podcast for a while, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. I am starting a new career, and it will take me away for a while, so I will be missing out. But I will be certain to get my picks in for these guys to go over and topics of interest if I can.
He'll still be in touch, just not over face-to-face with us.
Unfortunately. I'll probably throw in a couple jabs here and there, things to one of the guys to stir up. This is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and it's not gonna be the same at all.
It's not. It's
because I think you're the one that has the most
outsider opinions.
Yes,
and all due respect for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Think outside of the box. Look at the Chase Elliott thing I just brought up. I was just thinking, right?
It's not going to be the same. I look forward greatly to when you will be back. Although I am very excited for your new career opportunity. That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not going to be the same though. I know. We talked, me, Dylan, and even you. With you, we talked about who can maybe fill your spot for just a couple weeks, even not even full time. No, not even full time. Just to have someone come in and talk with us, because statistically, ironically saying that, Stat Boy isn't ever with us all the time. So sometimes it ends up just in that theory, it would just end up being me and Dylan. Yeah, so we need Stat Boy. If not, there might be a couple.
Thursdays now, so it should.
Well, then that works perfect. So.
Perfect.
That works great.
and also we are trying to get. I know personally that I'm trying to get some interviews going with real life drivers. So in between time, since we don't have a third person, maybe that could be, in the middle of our podcast, we would pop up an interview that all four of us would ask a question. Maybe we're not there for the interview, but I would be the only one there. But we would all four have an individual question for that driver or whatever that
Absolutely.
is. So
we're gonna do our best because, with all due respect, Nick is one of our
closest
favorite
friends.
people here. Absolutely. There's a reason all four of us do this.
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be the same without him. So we're gonna try our best to make our accommodations to not
Well,
only.
like I said, I'll try
spot.
to drop those whispers in your guys' ears, like, "Hey, bring this up."
Right, and we absolutely will. To not only to stir the pot, but also to bring in your name. Like, hey, man, Nick texted me this week. What you think about this, Dilly? And stuff like that. And it's we're gonna start the pot for sure. But not only that,
So
but we're also
with that being said, I'm gonna give my picks for Watkins Glen now because I want to give them live.
Okay.
Suck pick for the trucks because it's a 4-header weekend. I was supposed to go to the race. Unfortunately, new career starting, can't go to it now. Trucks race, I'm just going to go with the winner instead. Winner Ty Gillen's going to get another win this weekend. I feel that he's going to be the most at that race. Being that he has a road course win obviously already, I think that's his only Truck Series win as well. I feel that because his dad's race there, he's going to have a leg up advantage over the rest of the crew. John Hunter and Nemechek will probably come in second, and they may beat and bang, but I think Gillen's going to get it. Going into Xfinity, if a Cup regular does not show up, it is going to be.
I was looking at that earlier, the entry list, and it's not released yet. I was looking.
It's not released yet. If a Cup regular does not show up, this one is subject to change. It's going to be a battle between Austin Cindric and AJ Allmendinger, with AJ coming out on top. He does have that Cup win back in 2014. He's going to come out on top, and then going into the Cups.
I believe he has Xfinity then win there as well with Penske, if I'm not mistaken.
Who?
Penske. I believe he has a win there with Penske as well.
AJ has one on.
In Xfinity.
In Xfinity.
Oh, in Xfinity. Yeah.
He does, actually.
Anyway.
And then going into the Cup, Chase Elliott's going to dominate again. He has that track on lockdown.
Wrong.
That's his house.
It's like
I'm gonna say it's wrong.
You said it's like Jimmy with Lowe's back in the day. Is that what you said?
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Lowe's.
He's got it on lockdown.
Well, we'll see. We still got 2 weeks away, sadly.
We will be back next week with a shorter podcast again, just because, honestly, we just didn't want to stop because this is something that we enjoy to do. So that's honestly what it was. But to that, we will set our picks for Watkins Glen next week, and also any news or anything that we want to comment on that pops up. Hopefully, a more silly season happens within the next week. I think it will. But
I agree.
We'll see where all those people land in a ride or not in a ride.
2311. Oh.
But just want to say thank you all for all the support, and that's all I got. We anything y'all want to say?
Yeah. Just keep on watching if you are watching, and we appreciate it. And I promise Nick will be back in a month or two, max.
Two minimum.
2. Okay, so 2. He'll be back in 2 months, so give it 10 podcasts.
Yeah.
give it 2 podcasts or 2 months, and your favorite guy will be back if he's your favorite. If not, then you're not missing nothing.
For all we know, the podcast will get better. It'll skyrocket in views.
Oh my gosh, no.
Not without you, bro. Can't happen.
All right. Well, anyways, thank y'all. Peace out.